afternoon, everyone. So with the group 4, we'll be discussing to you the lesson 4 entitled Agriculture and Fishery Art. So my task is to define what is agriculture and fishery art. So as we all know that we talk about again and again what is agriculture. So now, agriculture is an art and science of systematic production of useful and animals for human consumption. So it is a self-explanatory that agriculture again is taking care of plants, animals, or also the agriculture is different to forestry and fresh cultivation. So if mag-ingon agriculture is not just planting lang, but also it is taking care of different sea organism, but also kung mga organism or sea creature nga makonsum siya sa human, kay not all sea creature man kay pwede siya makaon or pwede siya eat sa mga humans. So now, why is it considered as an art and science? So same with the entrepreneurship, the entrepreneur is also considered as an art and science. Now this agriculture also is also considered as an art and science. So why do you think? Why do you think that agriculture is considered as an art and science? None? Okay, so it is considered as an art because, for example, as we all know, the plant, specifically the flower, it is used as a decorative purposes. So it is considered as an aesthetic purposes. That's why it is called, or it is considered as an art. So even now, hindi lang ang mga flower ang pina-decorate, but also we have these different kinds na sa mga leaves na lang kaya gina-decorate na sa nila. So also it is considered as a science because it is an involvement of scientific knowledge for better production. So as we all know, humans, hindi sila makontento. So we will dig and deeper, more deeper. For example, sa insecticide. So hindi naman nila ma-discover an insecticide without this problem. So that's why mag-anak sila of research for them to come up a solution. So that's why na ay mga machinery or different things pa nga i-use nila in terms of farming para it is also easy for us human to produce more food for human consumption. Now, in agriculture, we need to remember that there is this 3F. So, the farmer, the farm, and the farming. The farmer is the people, farm is the land, and farming is the process. Yes, the process. So, the agriculture can be an agriculture without this 3. Hindi man pwede na kay farm, pero wala kay farmer. Diba? So, if na kay farm, pero wala kay farmer, so, hindi siya magbuhat ang process ng farming. So, agriculture won't be agriculture without this 3F. Okay, now, there are 6 branches of agriculture. Now, my task to you is to discuss lang or to define what is agriculture and fishery arts. But here, included ba ng branches of agriculture? So, let me give you a really quick overview of the branches of agriculture. So, the first is horticulture. So, it is a growing and caring for plants, especially fruits, vegetables, flowers, and ornamental plants, usually in gardens or small farms. So, horticulture, it means lang those are the plants na pwede lang siya i-plant sa pots or sa backyard, sa likod bahay. Maura na siya. So, plant industry, this is the bigger field that includes all type of crop production such as rice, corn, wheat, fruits, vegetables, and more. So, kay horticulture, include na siya dali sa plant industry. Kumbaga, kahit plant industry na dali ang farm kasi bigger field naman siya. So, if not in plant industry, of course, we have animal industry. So, this is the branch of agriculture that focuses on the raising and caring of animals for food, work, and other products. So, of course, as I said earlier, it's the same sa fish cultivation, dili man tanan sea organism kay pwede ma-consume sa human. Also, sa animals po, dili man po tanan ng mga animals is pwede ma-consume sa human. Dili man pwede kauno ni mga lion. Shark. It's just a trivia. Back then, ang giraffe meat kay ina-consume nila sa mga early humans So the branch of agriculture that focuses on the raising and growing fish, shellfish, and underwater animals, both plants and ponds, tanks, or the sea. So muna na aquaculture. So raising fishes or water organisms. So agricultural economics. So here it focuses on the business money side of farming and studies how crops and animals are produced, sold, and managed to make a profit. So of course, dili naman livelihood ang ma-produce sa agriculture, but also it also give a development or growth to our economic. So the last branch of agriculture is farm engineering. So here in farm engineering, dali na to ang atong mga machinery nga gina-use for agriculture. Or also, ang kaning farm engineering, mauna po din siya ang result sa research that is being conducted by the humans. So now, let's define what is fishery arts. So fishery arts, this is the catching, raising, and processing of fish and other aquatic products. So, kabaliktaran na siya sa agriculture. Kaya kung agriculture, more focus siya sa planting. Yes, this fishery arts is for raising, catching, and processing of fish. Now, it includes skills like fish handling, preservation, and marketing. Now, here in the fishery arts, we have three branches: fish culture, capturing, and preservation. So, based pa lang sa iyang title, we can explain it na kung sa siya. So, fish culture, it focuses on the raising and breeding of fish in ponds, tanks, or cage. Kumbaga sa fish culture, it is intentional na imuha man yung buhion ang water organism or ang sea organism, ang mga fish. But here in the fish capturing, focuses on the catching of fish from natural bodies of water like seas, rivers, and lakes. So dili siya intentional na pag-grow sa human or sa people kay iskan aha naman siya kwaon. So fish capturing na. Fish preservation is the process of keeping fish fresh and safe to eat for a longer time and preventing spoilage. So preservation, so we have this different kinds of preservation, drying, smoking, so that is fresh preservation. So now, the importance of agriculture and fishery. So first is source of livelihood, source of food, source of foreign exchange, mga import and export, gawas ta o masag ta og product sa ilahang pagbalik sa tuang may lahi na product. For example, the bananas, paghatag natin sa ilaha kay banana dyan siya, pag abot din pwede na siya may syrup or other products. That's it, so economic development. So of course, agriculture and fishery, they provide livelihood, maghatag silang income. So it's a cycle naman. So that is the importance of agriculture and fishery. So I think that concludes my presentation. So my co-presenter will continue with the
everyone. So my topic is all about farm tools, implements, and equipment. So I know that Anisha is taken up from first year, so I know that you already have an idea on what these tools, equipments are about. So let's first begin our objectives. First, to identify the various tools used in rice production, ranging from simple hand tools to complex machinery that facilitates farming tasks. Second, describe how each tool and piece of equipment contributes to rice farming, enhancing productivity and efficiency in the overall process. And lastly is to provide a brief overview of the main categories of farming tools: hand tools, farm implements, and machineries. So first, let's discuss the different categories. So first we have the hand tools. Hand tools are essential for manual labor, allowing farmers to perform small tasks effectively and efficiently. So these are things na mamunidad sa kamon or nalala sa kamon. Next are farm implements. So these are attachments and tools used for soil preparation and planting, enhancing productivity. So farm implements is ginabutang sa dagko nga machinery. So para siyang attachment, gina-attach lang sa dagko nga machineries. And lastly is are the equipments. These refers to power machines utilized for large-scale operations. So mga dagko na mga sakyanan. Okay, now let's discuss the different types of hand tools. So first we have the bolo. The bolo is essential for cutting down weeds, ensuring that rice plants receive adequate sunlight and nutrients for growth. So, pagputol sa mga sagbot. That is the bolo. Second is the wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow allows farmers to efficiently transport materials like soil, fertilizers, and harvested rice across the fields with ease. So, tanganan sa mga na-harvest na rice or pag-transfer sa mga soil. Next is the sickle. It is a crucial tool for harvesting rice, effectively cutting grain and trimming plants with its curved blade design. So it comes to cut down rice and other activities. Next is the rake. The rake is essential for working in tight spaces, allowing farmers to level soil or clear debris close to the ground. So clear debris to the ground. Next is the crowbar. A crowbar is vital for pulling objects apart, helping to break up compacted soil or remove stubborn roots during land preparation. So this can also be used to break apart large pieces of rocks. It's a garden. Next, the spade is designed for digging straight edge holes, making it perfect for transplanting seeds or lifting soil effectively in rice fields. So this is different from pala. Basta, this is different from the pala because it has a square shape that is perfect for digging straight holes. So those are the hand tools. So it enhances the rice farming efficiency. Next, we have the farm implements or the attachments. So first, we have the plows. Plows are essential tools that are pulled by animals or tractors, primarily used for turning and aerating soil to prepare for planting. So to aerate the soil, ready na siya for planting. Next is the harrow. Harrows, wooden and these types, are used to smooth and level the soil, ensuring an even seed bed for optimal crop growth. So, kaya nasa picture is called the disc types. So, naako siya mga wooden na harrows. Mostly nakita sa mga bukid kapit ng farms. Next is the rotavator. A rotavator is a tractor attachment that mixes soil and prepares land for planting by breaking up plots and incorporating organic matter. So it is an attachment for tractors. So these are the farm implements. So next are the equipments. First is we have the hand trucks. It is essential for pulling up plows and harrow, making it effective for wide land preparation and rice farming. So a hand tractor is like a small version of a four-wheel tractor, which is the cultivation. So next is the four-wheel tractor. It is designed to pull larger tools like these plows and these harrows, ideal for extensive rice cultivation areas. So this is perfect for farms or plantation na nagpo kayo ng fields. Wow. Like para sa mga large fields or wide fields. Next is the water pump. It is crucial for drawing irrigation water from wells or rivers, ensuring rice crops receive adequate moisture for growth. So if yung mga pasakat or mga tananan is layo kamay sa river, so you can use a water pump to transport water to the farm. Okay, last equipment is we have the combined harvesting. The equipment performs the harvesting and threshing at the same time. So, ano siya, multi-purpose. I think ang picture na buka is mali. So, ang ang combined harvester is nakuha siya, madami siya certain parts para bali, inuwa na siya, pwede siya mag-kuhan sa soil, pwede siya mag-harvest, and pwede siya magtanong at the same time. So those are the equipments and tools and implements. So, overview. Efficient rice formally lies in power machines like tractors and water pumps, which optimizes land preparation and irrigation process. Kasi imagine if walang yung mga gamit na pang farming. So imagine is, kamutunin mo daw ng field. So matugayan yun lang. So these equipments are very efficient and very helpful. So summary sa mga tools. Ang hand tools are essential for manual, small scale tasks like magkatay ng mga sapot, magtanong ng ginagmay, while implements are attachments to large machineries. And the large machineries are called equipments, which can operate in a large scale area. So that is my part. Thank you and God bless.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Shayla May Ayan. And today, I will be continuing our report stated in lesson 4, which is agriculture and fishery arts. But I will be only focusing on discussing the importance of crops. But before they have to our topic, let's first discuss what is crop. Miss Shayla, can you read what is crop?
Crops. Crop is a plant or plant product harvested for human use. These are cultivated at scale to produce food, fiber, fuel, and other products. Crops have been central to human civilization since the fish agricultural revolution, at this stage in the broader history of agriculture, when early societies domesticated plants for food and trade.
Okay, thank you so much. So it means that crop is a plant or any plant that people grow for the purpose of using it or to get benefit from it or even have profit from it. So crops is essential because it helps us humans to survive. Now I know that you are all familiar with the types of crops since it was already discussed in our last sem, I guess. So for a quick recap, so field crops are those crops that are grown in big farms for food, like for example the rice, wheat, and the corn. So vegetable crops, so any crops that are considered as vegetables, so that belongs to the vegetable crops. So next is the fruit crops, so anything that or bear fruit that is considered as the fruit crops. Next is the plantation crops. So plantation crops is grown on large estates for the use of sale. So for example is the tea or the coffee. Next is the industrial crops. So one of the example of this one is the cotton. Next is the horticultural crops. So this horticultural crops is the garden plants or for food or beauty. So for example is the flowers that we plant in our backyards or in our yards. That is the example of horticultural crops. Next is the fodder crops. So this fodder crops is grown to feed animals. And next is the medicinal and aromatic crops. So this medicinal or aromatic crops. So when we say medicinal, these are the crops that are used for medical purposes. And next is the aromatic crops are grown for the purpose of their scent or their smell. So now let's discuss the importance of crops. So importance of crops are classified into 5 categories or can be discussed into 5 key areas, and these are everybody read.
Food security and nutrition, economic importance, industrial uses, environmental benefits, and cultural and social importance.
Okay, so let's dig deeper onto each of these ones. So first is the food security and nutrition. Miss Mangkaran, can you please read?
Food security and nutrition. Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, or FAO, considered crops as a primary source of food for humans and livestock. Staple crops such as rice, wheat, maize, and potatoes provide carbohydrates, while legumes, fruits, and vegetables provide essential proteins, vitamins, and minerals.
Thank you so much. So if we have a stable crop production system here in the Philippines, it will ensure food availability and reduces hunger Economic importance, Miss Eden, Miss Reed.
Economic importance, agriculture, especially crops production, is a major source of income and employment in many countries, particularly in developing nations. Crops contribute significantly to national economies through trade and exports. Cash crops such as cotton, coffee, cocoa, and sugarcane generate foreign exchange and support rural livelihoods, according to World Bank.
Okay, thank you so much. So as I said earlier, that one of the main sources of income or living here in the Philippines is agriculture or farming. So through this, farmers can export or trade their products in other countries for a higher value of price. And because of this trading and exporting, our country earns and our economy grows. Next is the industrial uses. Mr. Masa, can you please read?
Many crops serve as raw materials for industries. For example, cotton is used in textile manufacturing, maize is used in food processing and biofuel production, and oil crops like soybean and sunflowers are used to produce cooking oils, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals. According to industrial crops, unit 1.
Okay, so this means that crops are not just simply for food. So they are also raw materials that industry rely on to make everyday products. So from the clothes we wear to fuels and even to the health products. So this makes agriculture closely linked to industrial growth and even to our economy or economic growth. Next is the environmental benefits. Miss Montoyela, can you please read like environmental benefits?
Environmental benefits, according to AOS data analysis for article titled Crop Crops contribute to environmental sustainability by preventing soil erosion, improving soil fertility, especially use through vegetation and supporting biodiversity.
So this means that crops help the environment by protecting the soil and naturally improving its fertility because as we plant crops in the soil, the roots will hold the soil and prevent soil erosion. So through this, we can be able to support diverse life and allowing farming to be done sustainably and naturally. And lastly is the cultural and social importance. Ms. Tigayan, can you please read?
Research titled Food Safety and Quality in Global South recognized crops are deeply connected to cultural traditions, cuisines, and social practices. Certain crops are associated with festivals, rituals, and traditional farming knowledge passed down through generations.
Okay, so many societies and communities, certain crops are considered symbolic or ritually important because these crops are already tied to their traditions, like for example, their festivals and even to their ceremonies. So this is because these crops shape the way community live and the way they celebrate and honor their ancestors or even the nature. So one of the example of this one is the Panyas Festival in Lukban, Quezon and the Panagbenga Festival in Baguio City. So in conclusion, please read Ms. Arcelia.
Crops play a critical role in ensuring food security, creating employment, and sustaining livelihoods, especially in agricultural activities. It also helps protect the environment by improving soil fertility, preventing erosion, and supporting biodiversity.
Okay, so we also witnessed earlier that crops does not just include on the food we consume, but also almost associated or everything almost associated with humans. So from the clothes we wear, from the condiments we use, and even to the fuel we use. So, and even to our health products, and not just on our health in our body, but also the health in our community or even in our country. So, these crops helps uplift the community or even the country as a whole in terms of economy. So I think that would be all from my part. Thank you so much. you to scan your surroundings and actually observe a certain plant? Yes, you cannot remember. So, as we observe a plant, we think that it may look quiet and just sit still on the ground. But did you know that there is more into it? Because each part of the plant has a special job to do. And just like us human beings, these parts work together in order for it to grow, survive, and thrive. But how do we really know them? How well do we know their parts? So we will find out through this short activity. So the short activity is called Guess the Part. So what we will do is that I will be pointing on a certain part of a plant, then you will help me by guessing what part of plant is that. So am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, so what part of plant is this? Yes, leaves. How about this?
Petals.
You will see later. How about this?
Stem.
This?
Roots.
How about this? Try again. Who wants to guess? This or this? Other turn. Okay, we don't have any guesses. So, lastly this. How about this? What is this?
Bud.
What?
Bud. Beauty.
Okay, let's see if your guesses are correct. Now let's read it together. We have leaves, stem, roots, seed, fruit, and flower. So again, read it together with me. Leaves, stem, roots, seeds, fruit, and flower. So those are the parts of plant. So now that we know the parts of a plant, we will now explore and determine their functions, starting with the roots. So the root part is known to be the root system. So what is this and what is its job? So the job of a root is to absorb water and minerals, hold the plant in place, and store food. So the roots are usually found underground. They hold the plant firmly in the soil so it does not fall over. Roots also absorbs water and minerals from the soil, which the plant needs to grow healthy. And did you know that some roots can actually hold or store food for the plant? So did you get it?
Yes.
So again, roots absorbs water and minerals. It holds the plant in place and it stores food. Next is we have stem. So stem is what actually supports the plant in order for it to stand upright. It transports water and food throughout the parts of the plant. It acts as a pathway of delivering the minerals from one part of the plant to another. So did you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so now let us move on with the leaves. So leaves is what actually leaves make food through the process of photosynthesis. It helps the plant breathe and it releases oxygen. So why do I say that leaves makes food for the plant? Yes? Bakit ang leaves?
Because ang leaves man ang nag-absorb sa sunlight. Carbon dioxide sa carbon dioxide.
Yes, indeed. So, leaves is the one that absorbs the sunlight, the elements like water and air through the process of photosynthesis, and it helps release oxygen. So oxygen is what we need as human beings in order for us to survive. And this
So next is we have flower. So the flowers helps in reproduction. It protects it produces seeds and attract pollinators. So flowers are the reproductive part of the plant. Their main job is to help the plant produce seed. Flowers are often colorful and smell nice in order to attract insects like bees and butterflies. And this process triggers what we call pollination. So pollination is a process where pollen is transferred from the male part of a flower to the female part, allowing the plant to produce seeds. So the male part of the flower is what we call the stamen, and this produces the pollens. And the female part is known to be the pistil or the carpel, and it receives the pollen and helps form seed. So do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Next is we have fruits. So fruits is what actually protects the seeds and helps spread the seeds. Next is we have the seeds. So seeds grows into a new plant and it stores food for the new baby plant for it to grow. So seeds contains baby plants inside them. When seeds get enough water, air, and sunlight, they grow into a whole new plants. Seeds are important because they allow plants to continue growing and reproducing. So to sum up everything that has been stated, roots is what absorbs water, stem transports minerals and or nutrients, leaves make food for the plant, flowers produce seeds, fruits and seeds grow into a whole new plant. That is why plants are very important to life on earth because they don't just grow, they sustain life one cycle at a time. When plants thrive, the life on earth thrives too. And that is the essence behind the idea that plants hold. Its significance on this planet is beyond every scaling. And I'd like to end my presentation with a thank you.
Okay, so good afternoon everyone. So today we will discuss about the importance of seeds. So seeds is basic organic raw material through which plants spread their species. Throughout the ages, plants have created different mechanisms that allow them to disperse their seeds. So this makes it easy for new plants to grow further away from the parents. So seeds are responsible for reproduction and survival of the plant species. So through these seeds, plants are able to spread in different places using various methods such as wind, water, human, and even animals. So this spreading of seeds, this spreading of seeds, it allows plants to grow far from their parent plants and reducing overcrowding and giving them a chance to survive in new habitat. So what are the importance of seeds? So seeds are one of the most important and crucial aspects of food. There are many types that we use for animals and human consumption. So one of the most important rule of seeds is that they serve as a major food source for both human and animals. Actually, many of our foods that we eat came from seeds. So we have here the 6 major seed species that us humans eat. So first is rice seeds. So rice is one of the most important seed. One of the most important seed in the world, especially here in Asia. Next is we have wheat. So this is used for flour. So this seed is used for flour, for pasta, for bread, biscuits, and other industrial food products. Next is we have maize or corn. So this is widely grown for foods and this is used for industrial purposes like alcohol and syrup production. Next we have the oat. So oat is used for, of course, human consumption like oatmeal or baking. And it is also frequently used for planting cover crops and bird feed. So next is barley. So barley, this is used for flour. Yes, for baking, and then for beverages like whiskey and beer, and for animal feed food. Next is we have rye. So rye is used for pwede pa siya sa flour, sa pasta, sa bread, and even sa whiskey and beer. So these seeds provides an essential nutrients needed by our body. So these seeds contains carbohydrate carbohydrate, starch, chemically sugar, minerals, protein, vitamins, fats, and oil. So because of these nutrients, seeds play a big role in ensuring the food security around the world. Next is raw materials for industry. So various industrial products that can be extracted from seeds, and they come in variety of forms. For example, mustard oil and coconut oil are extracted from cassava and coconut seeds respectively. So seeds is also important because they are used as a raw materials in different industries. For example, mustard oil and coconut oil. So these oil are used for food production, medicine and cosmetics, soap and candle making, and manufacturing products. So this shows that seed is not only important for foods, but it is also important for economic and industrial purposes. Next, seeds are necessary for agriculture. So seeds are the most important commodity for farming population, as most of the plants are produced from their seeds. As a lot of plants are spread by their seeds, this makes them the vehicle for propagating new life to new places. So seeds they are actually the foundation of agriculture. So many farmers rely on seeds to grow crops and produce foods. Now, and many of the plants is actually grown from seeds. So without seeds, farming is not possible, and food production could greatly decrease. And also, seeds allows farmers to grow crops year after year and help sustain farming communities. Next is seeds in life. So seeds are the essence of life. They are what give plants their ability to grow and survive in the world with changing conditions. So seeds have various levels of heat, cold, drought, and water protection. Some contain food for the seeds growth and for the environment when it develops. So seeds, they are often called as the essence of life because they carry everything needed to grow a new plant. So seeds is actually very resilient because many of the seeds can survive in extreme heat and cold, and also drought like lack of water, and long periods of dormancy. So this ability, this allows plants to survive in changing environmental condition, and it ensures the continuation of plant species. So next is seeds are used for medicinal purposes. So there are more than 1,200 known alkaloids. So when we say alkaloids, this is a chemical substance used to treat illnesses and diseases. So there are at least 20 examples of plants that can be used as medicinal treatments for ailments. So the most commonly prescribed medicines for malaria is the quinine. So quinine. So this which is extracted from cinchona seeds and has been used for centuries to treat malaria and other related illnesses. So these are the other examples used in medicine treatment. We have mustard seeds used to relieve muscle pain and improve blood circulation. fenugreek seeds, flax seeds, Nigeria, and poppy seeds. So overall, seeds is very important because it allows plants to reproduce and spread, and also it provides a food and nutrition, and of course it supports agriculture and industry. So that is all.
Good day, everyone. So I'll be the reporter of propagation, different methods in managing crop production. So we all know that there are two different kinds of propagation. We have asexual and sexual propagation. But first, let us know what is propagation. So propagation is the process of producing new plants from existing one. So it can be done in two main parts. We have the by seed or by plant parts. So we have here so-called sexual propagation, asexual, and or vegetative propagation. So let me clarify to you that these types of propagation differs from each other. So first we have by seeds or sexual propagation, which means new plants grow from seeds, while the asexual, or we also known as vegetative propagation, it means new plants grow from stems, roots, leaves, or other parts like tubers and bulbs. Next, so these are the categories of propagation. First, we will discuss about sexual propagation. So when we say sexual propagation, magtatanong ka through the seeds, there is a seed. So seed propagation. Use of true seeds from pollinated plants, common in rice, corn, beans, and vegetables. So muna ang mga klase yung tawag natin about sexual propagation. So there is an advantage of using sexual propagation. It is easy and low cost, but also there is a downside or a limitation. We have taste may vary. So depende sa quality sa seeds na yung gamit, makadepende nito kung sa ang talong na hipabo. Next, we have the asexual or vegetative propagation. There are 7 kinds of asexual propagation. We have the cutting, layering, multiplying, grafting, budding, division, and of course, tissue culture. So first we will discuss cutting. So cutting, planting a portion of stem, root, or leaf. Example of cutting is we have the cassava, sugarcane, or rose. Wala siya pinake para mo mas mag-bloom pa kayo ang specific plants. Next, we have layering. So layering means bending a branch to soil until roots form. Example, guava. So as you can see, there is a picture. Is nakita ng stem niya, but ang stem niya is bury siya sa ground para magpupot siya into a new new plant na siya. Next, we have marketing. So it's a familiar of marketing. Okay, so very known ang marketing na propagation. Marketing is also known as layering. So inducing roots on a branch was still attached to the plant. Example, calamansi and mango. So mango are commonly used na ginagawa ng market. Next, we have grafting. So joining stem and rootstock to grow as one plant. Example, mango or citrus. So ang kanyang process sa grafting is pinagtutuloy mo ang stem sa plant. Dahil ginapanan mo o giniwaan ito nga, dahil ito specific na kahit specific branch of stem na gusto niyo mo magkatipuan mo mga kanyang root is i-insert mo siya dahil mga kaya siya ibalot this time, ikot lang siya para yung growth yung i-insert mo ito ang yung plants na yun. Next, we have budding. So, inserting a bud into another plant stem, common in blueberries. So, kung paano mo what's the difference between grafting and budding? Same lang process but different parts to be used. Sa katulad sa grafting, ginagamit niya is stem yun. While sa budding is kanong bud sa plant. So, i-insert mo ay hiwaan yung gamay ang branch sa kanyang plant dahil i-insert mo ang katawang flower bud na kuwan para matuto siya into another stem or branch. So that's the difference between grafting and budding. Next, we have division. Separating plants or crowns. Example, ginagamit siya sa ornamental grasses or pineapple. So nakabuhat tayo ng crown sa pineapple. So para matuto siya ng another pineapple plant, is ginahiwa mo siya, ginagbulag mo siya into bag pineapple. So ang division. Next, we have tissue culture. Growing plants in a laboratory from small tissues, example, banana and olives. So, ang cultivation ani sa tissue culture is kanang kanang nasa sa laboratory, so isa dahil itanong like, more sila pa anak sa pila ka days na matubo sa ilaha, sa itat directly sa soil. So, muna ang tissue culture. Of course, we have also use of specialized lab pots. So, kung potato is natin ginatawag ng tubers, sa onion at garlic, ginatawag ng bulbs. So, nakabante ko sa onion, madugay na siya matubo. So, muna ginatawag ng bulbs. Rhizomes para sa ginger, di ba kabantay ng mukha na sa pagtutubo pa ng mga garlic is natin siya mga stem. So, rhizomes ang tawag niya. And corns para sa gabi o taro. And of course, the strawberry butter. So, nakabantay mo ang mukha ng strawberry. Ito nga, pagkakakas ng kanya, natawag siya o runners. Next, crop production management. So, there is a systematic way in planting from land preparation to harvesting. Kaya hindi naman pwede ka una nag-harvest na wala pa prepare sa inyong land. So, first we have the planning and land preparation. So, first, you must select suitable crop based on climate, soil type, and season. So, hindi naman pwede makuha na example na init lugar. So, kung tanong strawberry niya, strawberry is hindi man siya magbugay sa mga init na lugar. So, hindi na siya magbugay mga nalagyan siya. So, you must first put in mind na dapat magpasok ka sa climate, sa soil type, at sa season na itanong. Next, we have to clear land, plow, and harrow to improve soil structure. So, balik sa itong ginagamit, as I discuss kanina na ang type sa mga equipment na pwede ka tugon. So, dapat ganito na ito sa prepare sa land. Next, prepare seed beds or planting rows. Kedua, seed and planting material selection. So you must use certified pest-free, high-yielding varieties with seeds needed in dry sand or soaking. So dapat pili ay nga kung magtanong ka, dapat high quality food ang mga seeds na gamitin mo para high quality food ang kinukuha ng mga plants. Next, planting. So follow correct spacing and depth. Planting during appropriate season. So, ang tips ay do not plant too close because plants will compete for nutrients and sunlight. So, dapat namin siya correct spacing kung sa kalagyan ang pagtanang mo sa plants. Next, nutrient management. Apply organic matter like compost, manure, and use fertilizers based on soil needs, NPK, and cropping crops rotation to maintain soil fertility. So, dapat mindful ka sa pagputang nato o mga compost or fertilizer. Kaya, dyan pag sa kadaghan yung mga kuan, may butang fertilizer na may po chance na mapatay ang tanom kahit nasugaan ra. So, we must be mindful na dapat enough mga nutrients ang tanom. Next, we have water management. So, provide adequate irrigation, ensure proper draining to avoid waterlogging. And at the same time, dapat nagkasta mo ang irrigation sa plants. Kaya nakasili ko ang instances na instead niya mabuhi siya, na ito niya malumos ang roots, and aside from that, is malata pa din sila. Next, we have weed management. So, manual weeding, mulching or herbicides, early control prevents competition for nutrients and land. Kasi dapat ang mag-prepare ka sa land, kung ano siya dapat ang mga sakot, usa ka mag-apply. Na may instances na imbes na in-plant may malambot ang mga sakot na okay, mag-ilog lang siya sa nutrients na dapat makuha sa plant. Next, pest and disease management. So, monitor crops regularly. Use integrated pest management or the IPM. So, the integrated pest management, we have the biological control, cultural practices, safe pesticide use when necessary. Next, we have the crop maintenance. So, pruning, thinning, staking, and cultivation maintain plant health and productivity. So, if magtanong ka, hindi lang ka basta magtanong, nagyaan mo, kailangan natin mo i-maintain siya, dapat kung sa pwede i-prune, i-prune, kung sa i-trim, para mas daghan ko siya o mulabong ang lahang mga possible na roots. Next, we have harvesting. So, harvest at proper during this stage, use appropriate tools to avoid damage And lastly, we have the post-harvest handling. So cleaning, sorting, grading, proper storage, and transport to reduce losses. So naman yung success na ginagawa ng farm is ihatag mo ang harvest na mo dapat hindi siya malata, hindi siya ilaw, para mga-income program. So we must all remember that in propagation, successful crop production integrates proper propagation method, selection with consistent field management, ensuring high yield, quality produce, and sustainable soil health. So dapat mindful na masyadong itanong, wala na itanong o pausa na po tayo mo.
Topic is we have fish culture. So, Eden, can you read the definition of a fish culture?
Fish culture is the process of raising desirable species of fishes in captivity and managing system and their environment to improve growth and production and for domestic and commercial purposes.
So fish culture is all about raising fish in a controlled place like some tanks, some ponds, or some cages. So we could say that the fish culture is important because for livelihood sa tao or sa food. So we have the three phases of fish culture: the fish propagation, fish cultivation, and fish conservation. So for fish propagation, it refers to the process of breeding and producing fish to ensure a steady supply for aquaculture or restocking natural bodies of water. So fish propagation, it is all about breeding sa fish, like producing young fish to ensure sa steady supply because of fish. So naatay three methods of fish propagation. First is natural methods. So sa natural method is natural lang siya. Like for example sa ponds. So sa ponds is gibutang nila ang male fish and the female fish. So natural lang siya. Like walay halong chemical, that's why natural. So second is semi-natural. So ang semi-natural is na-siya kanang tiny or kanang gamay na siya nga kanang human involvement. So here pwede nila ma-control kanang temperature sa fish, like para dali manganak, like that. Or pwede sa indican para dali ma-hormone ang isa ka fish. So next is we have artificial propagation. So sa artificial propagation is na siya direct intervention sa isa ka human, like ang human na or ang tao na mag-collect sa sperm o sa egg and then i-mix nila ng body. So next is we have fish cultivation. So when we say fish cultivation, it is the rearing of fish and other aquatic products from their very young stage. So when we say rearing, like taking care of the fish from the young stage hangtod pwede na sila makaon like that. So naa sila kanang mga methods sa mga fish cultivation. First is we have fish pen method. So I think familiar ko ani like sa kanang daplin sa dagat is naman makita bitaw like we're net bitaw gyamdo. So ano siya ginatawag na fish pen method, like dito nila ginabuhi sa dito sa net. So next is we have fish pan method. So I think very familiar kayo din ani kay fish pan method, like sa magano sila magkalot sila sa kanang land and then gibutangan nila trapal and then gibutangan tubig and then nila fish. Next is we have open water method. So sa diri ang open water method is walay net or one so nakakasalong dito. So dito nila ang kanang ginabuhi ang isa ka fish, like walay net, like na siya sa dagat. Next is we have fish conservation. So for